Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
Hi there, drink friends. It's Ralph.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food, Cavalcade Cocktails number 4.
Yeah, we've been having fun making these.
We have been, and today, Ralph, we're going to rock and rye.
Okay. I've heard of rock and roll, but
Rock and rye.
I've heard of rock and rye too, but I didn't know it was a drink.
Well, apparently, it is a drink, and it's an old drink, and we're still working our way through Burke's complete cocktail and drinking recipes from 1934, and this book is falling apart. But in the world's 14 most famous cocktails, number 11, Rock and Rye. And I want to do a shout out to all of you Detroiters and those of you who grew up in Southeast Michigan, because while Rock and Rye is an alcohol drink, a lot of us really, when we hear Rock and Rye, we think of Faygo Pop and Rock and Rye.
AKA soda pop.
Yeah, so we just, here in Michigan it's pop. And Faygo, I don't know when they started making Rock and Rye. Faygo is a local Detroit soda manufacturer. They've been around for well over 100 years. And one of their most popular flavors is something called Rock and Rye. And it is unlike anything you would taste anywhere. They call it a cream cola. So
it's hard to approximate, give folks who haven't tasted it an idea, but I would say it's almost like a combination of cola and red pop, or
and red pop, by the way, you may not know, but red pop is another Faygo flavor, which is strawberry. So it's like cream soda, a little cola, a little
like a
red pop, strawberry. It's not quite. You know how Cheerwine, it doesn't taste like Cheerwine, which is a southern soda, but Cheerwine is a totally unique flavor. Rock and Rye is a totally unique flavor.
And just for the record, folks, he's saying cheer.
Cheer.
Not chair.
Right. Cheer. C-H-E-E. It sounded like chair. Wow, okay.
Like wine coming
potato,
from a chair.
Potato. All right.
Anyway, so the point, though, is there's this fun flavor that many of us know called Rock and Rye soda pop.
So maybe we'll have some later in the show.
But there's also this drink.
But this drink is Rock and Rye. So the rock is rock candy. So, of course, rock candy is one of those very old-fashioned kind of candies, which is just basically sugar in solid form.
Okay.
And here is a company that's been making it since 1880. But anyway, so what it is, Ralph...
This drink calls for that rock candy.
Rock and rye whiskey.
I see.
Okay? So that's our Rock and Rye. And it's got a little sour. So what we're going to start with, it says, Mr. Burke tells us, 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Okay? So let me get this, and let's say 2 ounces of rye whiskey. So here it is. I'll have to get some more. Seems we go through that. Okay. Then, to that, it says 1 piece of rock candy. Well, these are awfully small pieces. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of rock candy.
Let's show folks what it looks like before you put it in.
Here. See that?
Oh, like rock salt.
Yeah, it almost does look like rock salt. And then the juice of 1 lemon. Okay?
Oh, okay, so the sweet and the sour.
Yep. Then it says, Mr. Burke says,
dissolve.
Stir until the candy dissolves and serve in same glass. So I'll put some ice in here as soon as that rock candy dissolves. It shouldn't take long. Again, it's really just sugar. And matter of fact, it's almost gone now.
So it's only for making 1 drink at a time, or is this enough for 2 drinks?
Well, this was the measurement. I think this is one drink to me. It's a 2 ounces of whiskey.
Oh, okay. So that's about a drink, right?
Yeah, I guess so. A good drink, but you can see it doesn't really.
I guess I'm just thinking of if our friends wanted to make a larger quantity for a party, they could.
You could just
double it, triple
multiply.
it, multiply.
So 1 lemon per 2 ounces of whiskey and a teaspoon of rock candy. If it's these small little crystals. I've seen rock candy that are really big crystal in big chunks, and I think that's what he was probably referring to.
Yeah.
And maybe in 1934,
that's easier. It was easier to come by.
Yeah.
So, what if people can't get their hands on rock candy? Could they just use sugar?
You could.
Okay.
Yeah. You could just use either a couple of sugar cubes or a couple of teaspoons of sugar.
Or powdered
would
sugar.
Be okay.
Maybe
powdered sugar would be all right. It probably wouldn't be sugary enough, or you'd have to use more. Now I'm going to add a couple of ice cubes.
Now
in
that
here.
it's all dissolved, right?
Yep, the sugar's all the. And I'm going to put some ice in here, Ralph, because I really, for those friends of ours who aren't Detroiters and who didn't grow up with this, we're going to share the Faygo Rock Rye with them. But now that let me just put a stir here. This will cool the drink down a little bit.
On today's cavalcade of adult beverages and kids' beverages.
Yeah, exactly. This is Rock and Rye for all ages. So for those of you who are old enough and of the inclination to have an adult Rock and Rye,
here's looking at you, kid.
Here's to you.
Cavalcade of cocktails.
Wow.
Is it anything like a Faygo Rock and Rye?
Nothing like
Let me
a Faygo
try.
Rock and Rye. It is almost if it were a little sweeter, if it were a little sweeter, it would have the makings almost of a whiskey sour. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
But it's sour.
so
It's tart.
sour.
It's the lemon juice.
I think. Are you sure you put enough, or I mean, you didn't put too much?
Well, I put the juice of a lemon, but I'm wondering if maybe I didn't put enough
Rock
candy in it.
There you go.
So
yeah, it doesn't taste right to me.
We'll put a little bit. We'll put a little bit more rock in the rye, another teaspoon, and see. Well,
And you said it was almost. It reminded you of a whiskey sour.
kind of, yeah, because that whiskey sour is basically whiskey and sour mix, which is lemon juice and a little sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay. We're gonna let that
Dissolve a bit.
dissolve, and then I'm gonna open up.
Yeah, let's clean our
Yes,
palates
cleanse the palate
with some.
with Faygo. Now look at the color of this.
See, that's why I was thinking red pop, because it's the color, but it's really is hard to describe.
It's
And-
not
and
a bright red.
It's like a burnt.
It's almost like a salmon color. I mean, or coral.
Yeah, coral maybe, or a burnt orange. But it's the cream soda
You definitely get the cream soda
mixed with cola, perhaps, or
because it's got a little bit of that sort of vanilla kind of flavor. But doesn't that take
I
you
love
back?
cream soda. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of pop, but I do. When people, we had some friends visiting recently, and one of them, he is from Cleveland, Ohio. Never had a Rock and Rye, but he did.
Did he
And
like
he
it?
loved it. Yes. So I like the kind of Detroit flavors. Pretty much all over Michigan is Faygo country.
Like Verner's too. Verner's is a ginger ale.
Okay,
Yes.
so now let me see.
See if it tastes better now.
If this is sweetened up a little bit. Yes.
So it just
Yes, I think I
underdid
underdid the rock candy. So maybe a couple teaspoons of rock candy if it's small.
Yeah.
You notice now? I mean, it should have a little tartness to it because
It's
there's lemon juice.
Still tart,
in
but
there.
it's better. But yeah.
Yeah.
Add more sugar unless you want your friends to leave the party.
So
so you can go to bed.
Rock and Rye for grown-ups, Rock and Rye for kids of all ages.
There you go.
Right?
Like it.
And either way, I think it's fun. This is a fun drink. Again, I love a whiskey sour, I will say. But it's another classic cocktail from the Burke's book from 1934, and a classic Detroit pop from right now. You can if you can't find it in stores, I'm sure you can order it online. Faygo Rock Rye. But anyways, thanks for mixing it up with us for this edition of Cavalcade Cocktails.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
Yeah.
And we drink a toast to all of our food friends, don't we, Ralph?
We do, and we appreciate you all so much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing and spreading the word and liking and commenting.
And we'll look forward to seeing you again real soon, right here on Cavalcade of Food and Drinks.
Bye now.